G'day, I'm omdevaji, Sheshnag Mandir. What on earth is Kundalini? That's available on Amazon, and you can subscribe to this channel somewhere down there, if you like. This video is basically a little bit of my own research into myself. Comes under the guise of the omdevaji school of spiritual neuroses, increase in self-awareness, putting myself to the test and busting myself open and see if I can come out on top, so to speak. So I've been doing this experiment of love, my heart experiment. And I'm not talking about my codependent love or like the inner foursome. I've done a video on that, how I can cultivate and respect my own feminine energy in myself. I'm also talking about relationships, where I've had a tendency to get into relationships really quickly. And that's covered in the counterparts video. This is more about, thanks to Marion in Adelaide, she encouraged me to open my heart again. I've been a bit wounded by a couple of people that took advantages of me in regards to letting them stay on my property, and like someone thieved from me, someone disrespected my property, and someone took too many liberties, and I shut down for a while and said, no one's coming here. So after my experience with her last year, 2019, around end of August, I decided that if the couch surfer comes or wants to come here, then I'll let him. So I got a message from a couch surfer that said he wanted to stay. I didn't know how long he wanted to stay, and so I let him in, and I found that he was really good to talk to. If I was uncomfortable, then to prevent resentment, then I'd have a discussion with him, and he was really open to the discussions, which I found really good. He was also low demand energetically on me. He'd look after himself and just show up in my house from time to time, but he wouldn't require full-time interaction or part-time interaction too much. He just quiet and low cost in an energy sense from me. So that was cool. Although he stayed for about 5 or 6 weeks, and by the time he left, he'd probably reached his threshold of, I don't know if you know, but the energetic dynamic with someone else involved just changes the experience of being at my own home. So that was one. And then I got another guy who I met at the sauna who said, "Oh, I'll come and camp on your property, or can I come and camp?" I said, "Okay." Well, first of all, he had a few presuppositions, right? As in, like, he was inviting himself. I said, "Mate, in this culture you request that sort of stuff." He's not from this culture. And then he's taught me about these experiences that, I talk about validation a lot. That's my main key of my expression. I think underneath it all, apart from kicking some Kundalini and Atma-Gyan and self-knowledge and Sanskrit fanaticism, I'd like to be known for the concept of validation and how relevant that is in everyday life. He grossly invalidates me. There's a couple of things I've realised that really invalidate me as a person, and I mean trigger me in regards to the trigger video of, like, confronting my identity or undermining my values, or not meeting my emotional needs. This is more to do with undermining my values or not being able to reflect my values back. So there's two things, like constitutions, that I don't cope well with, and he's a blessing in my life because of it. The one constitution that I don't cope well with is the inertia. The people that are solid, stagnant, inert, move slowly. I find that really challenging to be around energetically, because it's not me, and I personally subconsciously like validation. The other constitution that I've come to realise I don't do well is the floaty, procrastinating one. That's like, bounces like this, mate. Whereas I'm going like this, and you can feel it in my energy. I'm like way intense and way focused and way pitta, according to the Sanskrit doshas and stuff, yeah. I've got a lot of vata because I'm a space cadet. I don't have much of the other one, which is kapha. I don't have much of that. Maybe I better eat mucousy foods and hot foods and stuff to balance the pitta and the vata. Who knows? But I don't do this sideways movement where you're just bouncing sideways and not going forward. And the inertia one's just like laid back, sitting there. It's a good point, because my son's the inertia constitution. So how do I come to a point of being able to embrace that? Because recently the floaty one's been totally infuriating me. Irritates me to such an extent. I said, mate, when you talk to me, you can't mumble and like go nowhere with your voice. You need to be solid. You need to engage in the other person to have a conversation. Like, I'm standing here, mate. It's the same as when you're on the phone. I can't hear you because you're like, oh, don't know where I'm going. Okay, okay. What the heck is that? So, in that, how do I embrace that? I'm struggling, but it's a blessed opportunity to actually engage in that, because he's on my property. Because I know underneath it all, he means well, he's genuine in intent, and he's not malicious. He's just the way he is from his culture, which is Sri Lankan, and a lot of the stuff he talks about is like excessive. I call it polyfiller, because it just fills up the space. My mate Max said we've got this cultural obligation when we're in the company of other people to talk. And Max is spot on. Even if you've got nothing to say, you still talk in this culture. And that's like, I don't personally have the energy to engage in that empty fluff of just pure space filler. But anyway, guy's on my property and I'm sitting there going, and I had my mate Yuri pull me up, go, bro, that was harsh, mate. There was no love in that. And I thought, yeah, you're right, Yuri. Thanks for telling me. So in that, I've pulled back a bit and gone, well, how do I love this constitution that's floaty? I'm not going to change him in 3 days. He's not going to represent me by the end of the time that he's here. I'm just trying to understand how I embrace that and accept it. Same with the inert constitution in my son. My daughter and I get on well, boom, 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 because we like boom, 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 talking like talking to ourselves. My son, he's a wordsmith, that he's one of those people that listen more than he talks. He's beautiful. They're both beautiful. Anyway, that's part of my heart experiment. So over the next 5 days, I've allowed 5 different couch surfers into my property, and just to see how I go in regards to opening my house and heart to different people, different constitutions, and see if I can be fully giving or partially giving, because at the moment I think I'm more partially giving through pain and trauma and protection and wariness of people that have exploited me. But that said, I've been seen as selfish before, and I've had a tendency to be seen as exploiting people. So maybe it's a great lesson for me in regards to love and the initiation of acceptance. There you go. I don't even know. But I'm trying to work it out. I'm trying to ride with it. And in that, I haven't kicked him off my property. I've given him a few rules. So, wish me luck. Omdevaji Sheshnag Mandir. What on earth is Kundalini? Om Namah Shivaya. Hara Hara Mahadev. Thanks for watching.